Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mike. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing great today. And the Insta360 GO2 is the topic of today's video. It's one of those cameras that you can do anything you want with. It's just so versatile, and hopefully you were able to see that in the intro of today's video. I was having a blast testing this camera in so many different scenarios. I was using it as a vlog camera, I was using it as an action camera, I tested it underwater, I even put it on my dog, and of course I had to put it on my drone as well. And in all of these different scenarios, this camera performed really well. And I think for traveling purposes or for any like behind the scenes type of footage that you want to capture, this camera is the perfect solution. So let's start with the basics first, as this camera is the second iteration of the Go camera. The first one they introduced was released a couple of years ago, and it was a good first try at making a really portable magnetic camera that you can use for action sports, for anything you want. However, the camera really lacked in the audio department, also in the video quality department. It was just not up to par with some of the other solutions like a GoPro camera or any other small camera that you can put on yourself. So they came out with the second iteration, the GO2, which in my opinion has been improved in pretty much any single way they could. The audio is a lot better. Even the magnets on this little thing that you put on your chest to strap the camera on it, the magnets are a little bit stronger in my opinion. The video quality is a whole lot better. You have a large or at least a much larger lens compared to the first version of the camera, and pretty much the stabilization has been brought to the next level as well. So in any scenario you can think of, this is better than its predecessor. Now it also comes with this cool case which allows you to see on this little display what mode you're in. You have a couple of different modes. You have photo mode, you have video mode, where you have two different selections. You have the standard video mode, which records in 1440p, or you have the Pro video, which introduces better stabilization with the horizon leveled at all times. So if you want to have a really smooth and stable footage, you can go to Pro mode and you'll have a lot better stable shot in the end. You also have slow motion, which personally I'm not a huge fan from these small cameras. They really aren't made to do things like these because of their sensor size. However, you have the option to use that, and you have photo mode as well. The cool thing about this magnetic case of the Insta360 GO2 is not only that it's magnetic, you can hold the camera inside, you can vlog with it like this, you have the little display. Also, you can use it as a tripod because you have those two little tripod legs, I would say, that you can use to put this on a flat surface and use this camera as a little tripod. That way you can capture some footage from a distance. If you want, you can set it on a table and get some action. You can also mount this whole thing on a tripod because you have a little screw here on the bottom of the case. But overall, I would say the biggest advantage and where this camera really shines the most is not the video quality, it's not the stabilization, it is the unique mounting possibilities. Starting off from your body, you can put this on your hat, like you saw me in the intro. I love putting this camera on my head because it actually tracks the movement of your head, so wherever you're looking, the camera is also looking there. And this is a big advantage if you want to record a first-person view type of footage, because if you use this pendant here that you put on, and you can use the magnetic side of the camera to put it on your chest right here. Sometimes this is a bit too low, and sometimes you really want to put this camera on your head so you can move around with it and it can record exactly where you're looking. You have a pivot mount, and you have also this pivot stand. And this is really cool because I kind of like this the most when it comes to vlog with it, or to put it in, to use it from my hand, because you can easily just move around with this pivot stand, and you actually have this little side that you can take in your hand. You have the strap, so you can use this strap to make sure you're not going to drop the camera, because when you're doing some action activities, there is a high risk of dropping the camera. With this on your hand, it's a lot safer. So yeah, you can use this, and you have so many other mounts that you can buy separately and use for whichever thing you want to shoot. I'm personally really stoked to check out this camera, and I want to tell you a little bit about my impressions after using it for a bit. Now, for the most part, the video quality seemed really good, especially compared to the original Insta360 Go. Now, of course, this being a very tiny portable pocket camera, you can't really expect it to have the same quality as, let's say, a GoPro or any other larger action camera. It is a small camera, it has a small sensor size, and it records in 1440p, so of course the quality would suffer when compared to a GoPro, for example. However, you really don't buy this camera for the quality. I think I personally would use this as my perfect behind the scenes camera, because it's so inconspicuous, or is that even the word? Yeah, it's you hardly notice it when you're shooting with it. I tested it around people and nobody even saw it. I mean, especially when you're wearing a white t-shirt with the white camera on top right here, nobody really notices this camera. And that's a huge pro in my book, because sometimes you just want to record where you're going, what you're doing, without actually using a large tripod with a large camera and a lens and a microphone on it. You really can use this camera as a travel, small, portable vlog camera, and the audio quality is really good. Here's a little demo. So this is the sound straight out of the Insta360 GO2 camera. I find it to be very good, and it's a massive improvement compared to the original camera. But this is how it sounds. The camera is currently in its case, and I'm using the case as a tripod, and it's very simple to use, and hopefully you can hear me well. They say there are about 35,000 bats living in these caves right here. And I don't know if you can hear the sound, but it's amazing. Take a look at this. When using this camera in video mode, you will immediately notice how smooth and stable the footage is. The flow state stabilization, I've said it before, it's one of the best stabilization systems out there. I really like the way Insta360 handles the stabilization on their cameras, and here it's no different. It's really good. It's very high quality stabilization, and for me the biggest test for this stabilization is to put it on an FPV drone, where you have a lot of wind, a lot of vibrations, a lot of movement, and of course you still see some jello inside the footage, because there is no way to make it perfectly stable like the footage that you're getting from Real Steady, for example, plus GoPro. However, it is very usable. And for me, usable is good. Like I said, I wouldn't use this as my main FPV camera on my drone, but I would use it for some scenarios when I want to capture behind the scenes footage or some extra footage from another camera that you can probably put on another drone as well. You can put it like in a way so it's not distracting you, but it gives you another angle, and I think this is a very unique possibility. Having this small camera and attach it to pretty much anything, you can achieve some really unique angles and perspectives, and this is where this camera is usable for. I was a little bit nervous, even though I knew this camera is waterproof, but I was nervous to throw it underwater to see if it's going to continue shooting or it's going to die, because I've had some problems with a GoPro in the past, which just didn't record underwater at all, and it was just fried from my first test. However, this was no problem for the Insta360 GO2. It took it like a champ, and I spent so much time underwater with it. I was having a blast checking it out and trying out different angles and see what I can come up with it. So it was really cool, and yes, you can take it underwater. I think up to 4 meters of depth you can dip it into water and not worry about it. But of course, this camera is no perfect. No product really is perfect. And my biggest issue with this camera is that sometimes it starts recording when I don't want to, or it stops recording when I don't want to. So it turns out sometimes I think I'm recording, but actually the camera stops recording when I press it. And when I want to stop recording, it actually starts recording then. So I missed quite a few really cool things happening on video because the camera was not recording. And although that might be my mistake, sometimes I was using the app, the Insta360 app, to start recording, and it was not responsive. Sometimes the camera wouldn't start recording. So it has its own bugs. Sometimes there is a bug happening preventing you from starting to record or to stop recording. So you need to be aware of that. You need to always take a look whether the camera has those blinking blue lights, meaning that it's currently recording. If it's not, then you should take some action before it's too late, because I'm really bummed out that I missed a couple of really cool shots being recorded with this camera. Other than that, really, there aren't too many things that I can complain about, because the camera does what you expect it to do. You can set your custom modes, so when you press once on the camera, you can start recording your custom mode, maybe your pro mode or the standard video mode or the photo mode, depending on what you are going to use this camera the most for. The standard bundle of this camera is about 300 euros, and I think that's a fairly close price to what the GoPro Hero 9 Black is. However, I think there are so many things you cannot do with a GoPro that you can do with this camera, or at least even if you can do them with the GoPro, it will be a lot bulkier, it will take a lot more space, it will be a lot more visible, and sometimes you really don't want that. So it's really up to you whether you're looking for such a small thing that you want to record on, or you're looking for something bigger, maybe with some better specs like the Insta360 1R or the GoPro Hero 9 Black or any other bigger camera that has better quality. For me though, this will be very usable from now on, specifically on my Instagram stories where I want to capture some unique angles. So now would be the best time to urge you to follow me on Instagram, because I post a lot of behind the scenes content for upcoming videos as well. So feel free to follow me at Drone Supremacy. But with that being said, guys, this is everything that I have for you today. Those are my impressions of using the Insta360 GO2 for the past couple of weeks. I really like it, and I enjoyed using it thoroughly. So I will continue to use it, that's for sure. So I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding the GO2, drop them down below in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you're subscribed for future content like this, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Ciao.